Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and I'm here with Hydrangea Quick Tip number 21. So some Flower Tribe members have asked me if they should fertilize their hydrangeas in the fall. And I have to tell you, here at Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, I do not use fertilizer in fall. A lot of times I find that the fertilizers will trigger like a bit of a growth spurt with my hydrangeas, and I want my plants to go dormant at this time of year. So I will hold back on the fertilizers. I usually don't use a lot of fertilizers anyway with my hydrangeas. A lot of times people will over-fertilize their hydrangeas in the spring, and what they find is that they have a lot of beautiful green leaves and they don't have a ton of flower blooms. So if you want, you can do like an easy soil sample to find out if your soil does need any kind of fertilizers, and that will answer the question whether or not you do need fertilizers. But I would hold off on that in the fall and save that as more of a springtime chore. And I'm here with Hydrangea Quick Tip number 22. So here I am in my fall garden. I'm in New Jersey, and these are what my limelight hydrangeas look like. And I wanted you to know that I protect these guys from a lot of wind damage in my secret garden. So it's a good idea if when you're looking for a place to plant your limelight hydrangea and most of your hydrangeas, if you can find a spot that's kind of protected. So you can tell back here, I've got a lot of other trees around them. I've got a lot of other hydrangeas, and they're in kind of like a protected area, which protects them from a lot of that wind damage and a lot of that, you know, like severe cold. So when the plant is kind of planted by itself, and it doesn't have much protection from either other plants or from a house, sometimes it winds up getting windburned, and sometimes some of those branches start to snap, and it also gets like a lot of sun exposure because it never gets the shade that's cast upon it from houses or other trees. And sometimes the limelights that I have that aren't as well protected wind up burning up, or they wind up kind of snapping or flopping, or getting a lot of this, like, you know, super sun damage. So if you can, find a spot that has a little bit of protection from the elements, and it's a really great idea to have some morning sun and afternoon shade on these guys. I'm here with Hydrangea Quick Tip number 23. So here I am with my limelight hydrangeas. It's fall in my New Jersey garden, and I want to show you the easiest way to make a bouquet from your limelight hydrangeas. So I came out in the morning, I trimmed a whole bunch of these hydrangeas, I stripped off the leaves, I just kind of gathered them, I kind of bunched them up, and I made sure that I had a couple of the taller stems in the center of the bouquet. And then I used the stems that were a little bit shorter for the outside of the bouquet. So I kind of built it up from the shorter stems to the medium size to the tallest ones. And then I'm just going to plunk them into a vase of water. It's literally that easy. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to give it a little plunk into the water. And it's done. And I have a beautiful arrangement. And here's one more quick florist power tip. If you've got some holes that are there, you could just take some extra stems and kind of plug them up once the arrangement's already in the vase. And that's super easy to do. Here with Hydrangea Quick Tip number 24, and I'm bringing you this tip from my kitchen. So when I build out my limelight hydrangea arrangements, I make sure that I just kind of let them fall very romantically on the sides of the vessel that I choose. So this vessel was basically just a water pitcher. And I have to say that hydrangeas look really good in almost any type of vessel that you choose. So this was just a basic water pitcher. It looks really pretty in here, but I didn't fuss too much when I put them in here. I didn't worry too much about everything being symmetrical and the stems being the same size. So I kind of like the idea of just putting them in here. I've got some tall stems on the top. I've got some medium-sized stems around the middle, and I've got some of the shorter stems on the bottom, but you can tell they just kind of flow over the sides. So I kind of played with them until I got this really nice romantic look. So it's a super easy arrangement to start building out, especially if you're new to the floral arrangement game. Welcome to Hydrangea Quick Tip number 25. So burlap wrapped bouquets are awesome, and if you take some of your limelight hydrangeas and you pair them with some store-bought flowers like these Alstro and some of these lilies, you can then just wrap some burlap around them and have a beautiful bouquet. Have a great day, Flower Tribe. And I'm here today with Hydrangea Quick Tip number 26. So I want to show you how to brighten up some of your hydrangeas when they're in dried flower arrangements and they start to fade. So here I am in my secret garden. It's October, and this is a great time to pick a lot of your hydrangeas because they're in kind of like this semi-dried out stage. And eventually they will dry out in the vase, but sometimes the colors start to fade after a couple months. And when that happens, you can just take some floral spray paint You can get this off of Amazon or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. There's all different, like brands of them. This one happens to be just for flowers. I use these all the time. And this is actually a florist power tip, because the only time that you're going to use a floral spray paint is on fresh cut flowers. You're never going to put these on flowers that are already in the ground and they're planted and they're still growing. So this is what I do. I'll take some of my hydrangeas that I see have started to kind of fade a little bit, and then I'll just give them a shot of either blue or pink or green or whatever color that I kind of want the flower to turn out to. So right now I'm going to use this on one of my endless summers. I'm going to give it a little spray. And it's just going to brighten up that flower just a bit. And I'm here with Hydrangea quick tip number 27. So here it is October, and it's a great time to build out some floral arrangements from the hydrangeas in your garden. And here's what we did for our Cranberry Fields October monthlies that we're delivering here in Cranberry Town today. So we just took a pumpkin vase, and you can get some of these in like AC Moore or Michael's. We put some fresh Oasis foam in here. We soaked it with some water. And then I basically put some of these hydrangeas from the garden that are semi-dry. This was from an endless summer. Some of these over here are from my limelight hydrangea bush. And I just basically put the stems, I give it a fresh cut, with a little clipper, and I put them in the Oasis foam. And I basically just circle around the entire arrangement. It looks more like this. And then I add some greens. And then once I have all my hydrangeas put in place, I just add some other fresh cut flowers. And guys, if your garden is kind of out of flowers right now, you can always just grab some fresh flowers from some of the supermarkets near you. So here we've got just some Alstro and some sedum, and you can actually, I don't know if that is Alstro. Oh, that is Alstro. And you can just kind of choose some of those flowers from your local supermarket. So that's today's fresh hydrangea tip, and I will see you guys in the next video. Today I'm here with Hydrangea quick tip number 28. So I want to show you a really simple recipe for making a beautiful flower arrangement out of your hydrangeas. And basically what we did was we just paired some of our semi-dried limelight hydrangeas, and you can tell they're kind of semi-dry because they feel a little bit crispy, they're a little bit green, they have some pink tinges on them. And I basically just paired them with some of these beautiful tall grasses that we have growing in our garden. So there's only 2 flowers in this entire arrangement. It's super easy to put together. Basically, you just put it around your framework of your hydrangeas first. You have your taller ones in the middle, the smaller ones around the base, and then we just added some of these beautiful tall grasses, and I'll show you how simple that is. So let me scooch in here. This one we also cheated and added a 3rd ingredient, which is some Alstro, and you can kind of buy these in a supermarket, but most of the time it's super easy, to grow these tall grasses in your own gardens. So tall grasses are super easy to grow. Hydrangeas are super easy to grow, and I just kind of go around the arrangement, and they look so wispy and romantic. Isn't this a gorgeous arrangement? And so super simple. Adding tall grasses to your hydrangeas is a really great way to get a beautiful fall look. I'm here with Hydrangea quick tip number 29. So a lot of Flower Tribe members have asked me if their hydrangeas are dying when they look like this at the end of the season. So here I am in my New Jersey flower farm. It's October, and this is what a lot of my smooth hydrangeas look like this time of year. And they're not dying, they are just going dormant for the season. So they've still got some leaves on them. What I'm gonna do is come in here and give them a little bit of like a deadheading on the blooms that are very, very beat up. They got too much sun damage. I'm gonna give them a deadheading, but I'm not pruning off all of the blooms that I see because I like to leave some of them on for some winter interest. So like some of the ones that look like, let's see if we can find a good one over here. Some of the ones that look like this, I'll wind up leaving on, and it looks really pretty in the snow. It's up to you. If you want to do a full deadheading, you can, but this plant is not dying, it's just going dormant. So if you have a lot of black leaves and it looks like there's like a lot of fungal issues going on there, you might want to take a sample of the leaf over to your local, like plant store, just to make sure it's not something more than the plant just going dormant. But for the most part, this is what my Annabelles look like this time of year, and they are not dying. And I'm here with Hydrangea quick tip number 30. So some Flower Tribe members have asked me how I get some of my limelight hydrangeas to be more in like a tree form as opposed to the shrub form. And I'll show you how to do that super quick right now. It's never a good time to do a pruning in fall, which is what we're in right now, but I just want to show you some of the steps that I really do mostly in the end of winter and early spring to get it to look like the shape. So I'll come to some of the smaller hydrangeas that I have, and I basically just clip off some of the lower branches that I have. So I'll come in here, I'll do some clipping, and I'll clip these off close to the base, closer to the base over here. And I'll just go around the entire plant like that until I get more of like a unified, almost like a trunk coming up as opposed to all branches. And I'm gonna hold off and do most of this, like I said, in the end of winter and in early spring, because I don't want to tell this plant it's time to do like a whole, like a regrowth right now. And when you do a heavy pruning, a lot of times you will kickstart like a new, like a lot of new energy for the plant to grow some more. So I want this plant to go dormant. I'm gonna save the rest of that pruning until the end of winter, early spring, and I will see you guys in the next video.